Carphonics yet again. Hope you guys had a wonderful evening. I know that I did. Today is raining and it's Thursday, and we got a busy day ahead of us here today, guys. We have Mitsubishi Eclipse, an older one that's coming in for an electrical diagnostic, and as well as perhaps and maybe a Viper alarm system. We've also got a 370Z that's coming in for us to diagnose, and we've got to put away some inventory. So as you guys see, we got a bunch of inventory behind me here and behind me there, and we're going to be going ahead and getting all that stuff put upstairs. J-Rad is going to be doing that while we're working away at the shop here, and keep up, guys. So we'll see you soon. Quickly before we get started here, I just wanted to mention about my dash kit on my 300 there. I've remodified it yet again. Don't ask me why I keep doing this to myself and creating more work for myself, even though after I already painted it. But those JVC doubled-in head units with Apple CarPlay came in, and I wanted it inside my car, of course. So I'm yet again modifying this dash kit so that head unit will fit in there, and I've got the baseline of my shape needing to go in there. So I just need to now, you know, sand this out and make it nice and straight. So I'm going to do that, and you know, it may get done today, it may not, more than likely not, but I'll at least get this whole thing kind of situated first before we before I get it in there. So I just need to get this thing, you know, leveled out here. It's not completely straight, and yeah. So anywho, okay guys, so here's our 370Z, and basically what ended up happening is we installed a sub-amp package in the back there quite a while ago, and this is before winter even, and driving the car throughout the winter or whatever, and what ended up happening is he ended up getting some water behind his seat here. So he didn't consult with us first, and you know, that's fine. He works at a dealership, the Nissan dealership that we deal with a lot, and he took it to one of the mechanics, and the mechanic said that the water is infiltrating through this grommet that we ran our wire through. Way down in there. I'm not even sure if you guys can see that there, but I'm going to try to shine some light on the situation and maybe point my finger to where it needs to go. But it's way down in there, right about there or so. And then the wire runs across and then to the battery. So the mechanic removed the wire and said, hey, you know, that's why the water is infiltrating the car. But the weird thing is that the grommet is down underneath of here, way underneath of here, right, runs right through up to there basically, and all the water is behind the seat. All right, see if we can try to show you that. See, quite wet back there. And the weird thing is that the entire area up in here is completely bone dry. You know, meaning that there's no water, no moisture up in this area here. So, kind of strange to me that the wire is causing this issue, but we're basically going to reinstall the wire and try to dry out this guy's carpet for him, because a little unfortunate. It's a pretty new car. So anyhow, we're going to reinstall this wire for you and get back at you. So I've had a change of mind. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to have Damien take the wire out of the vehicle on the driver's side here, and we're actually going to put it on the passenger side where the battery is instead. And that way it will cure any curiosity as to why water is getting in the driver's side, because there's no you know, possible way it's coming from that area. But we're going to go ahead and just remove it entirely out of there, and then go ahead and put it on the passenger side there. Sometimes this kind of thing happens, and it's so easy to blame the car audio guy. You know, remote starters are like this too, where, you know, so, you know, my car has an engine light, and, you know, so they'll take it to a mechanic, someone who's not 310K certified, and say, oh, for sure, it's the remote starter. So they'll charge the customer however much money and labor to remove the remote starter, and then it still doesn't fix the issue, and then the customer's stuck having to pay me again to reinstall the remote starter, when they should have just brought the car to me to begin with so I could confirm and give them some kind of you know, documentation, you know, letting the mechanic understand that it's not the remote starter. But it's the easiest thing to do, you know. Mechanic says, oh, for sure, it's got to be the remote starter, spends all this time removing what we've done, and then, you know, comes in and ends up not being our fault. It's kind of the name of the game, though, because we're in the aftermarket. It's kind of part of the risk that we take as installers, trying to, you know, install remote starters and car audio systems into people's cars. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, it's pretty annoying. You know, we spend a lot of time and effort installing what we've done into people's cars, and as you guys know, we're pretty anal about how we do things. So when we hear about a mechanic looking at a vehicle and, you know, making a decision that, you know, is illogical based on, you know, it's just the easiest thing to do to blame the car audio guy, right? So in any case, just a little touch on that. We're going to move that wire, and then we're going to pull in this Mitsubishi Eclipse. So here's our Mitsubishi Eclipse, guys. This bad boy here has got a lot of electrical gremlins, and we're gonna go ahead and pull this bad boy in and see what's wrong with it. Yikes. So we've got a long list of problems here with this car. You know, you turn the turn signals on without the key on, there's a buzzing in there, engine lights on, oil lights on, traction control lights are on, ABS lights are on. And then he wants us to install an alarm as well as fix an antenna and all this stuff, but unless we get all of the other issues fixed with this car, we're not going to be doing any of that. So let's just have a look at what's going on here. I guess he motor swapped this car and is trying just to get it all back up to order here. You know, let's just start here. So key's not on. You know, we got an oil light on without the key even on. Turn this. And we get like some kind of weird buzzing from behind here. You guys hear that? I don't know what's going on there. You know, he's got an oil light on and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of peeling away at this thing and seeing if we can get this thing repaired for him. Very first and foremost step I always like to take before I do any electrical diagnostic on any car is thoroughly check every single fuse in the entire vehicle. Oftentimes people will just you know, skip over them, but we're going to do a proper fuse check with a test light here. We've kind of traced it down to either a fuel pump relay or a grounding problem. There's some kind of issue. He swapped out the engine in this thing, and this thing is doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You know, the relays are just clicking in and out and buzzing and all that kind of thing. So I'm just tracing all the wires here and trying to figure out what's going on with it, but it's not looking good. So we're gonna have to see how much further we need to devolve into this thing to see what we can get done on it. And you know, it's gonna be a difficult one. So anyhow, Jared's all done counting inventory over here and getting everything all lined up and ready to go, so you can start putting that away upstairs. And I guess in the boxes he has found a couple of these license plates, which are pretty cool. JL Audio authorized dealer for 2017 and 2016 from last year, so that's pretty cool. Anyhow, guys, I'm gonna keep on going on this thing. I determined that it's the actual ECU. It's not sending ground through to the fuel pump relay, and I believe that's why the vehicle is functioning the way that it is. He's also got an oil light on, even with the ignition off. So I'm thinking that it's probably the ECU, something to do with the ECU there. You know, believe it or not, most of the wiring on this thing looks pretty factory. It hasn't really been tapped into a whole lot, and I think it's the ECU. So before we go ahead and do any alarms or anything like that, I'd like him to fix all of the issues that we've addressed here. I think one of them being the ECU. The fuel pump is fine, the fuel pump relays are testing fine, all the fuses are okay, all the grounds are good, all the powers are fine, but I believe it to be the actual ECU of the vehicle. So before we get into a problem where we're installing even more electronics into a vehicle that has current electric issues, I think it's safe that we get them to fix what it is that is wrong with the vehicle first, and then go from there. So Damien has worked on this 370Z over here. We've literally just moved the wire from this side all the way to the passenger side where it's supposed to be there, and we've as you can see there, ran it through another factory grommet, and then you know, silicone the crap out of it there as well, just for extra surety. We've never really had any issues like this arise at our shop here. You know, a new car comes in and water is infiltrating into the car. You know, it's a weird case, but we're fixing it for him anyways. You know, I don't think it's our responsibility, but hey, you know, we'll you know, the customer's always right? So anyhow, we'll get back at you with further stuff that's going on today. Actually, you know what? Jared over here is working away. As you can see, the pile is getting a lot smaller, so that's good. That's good. Jared's working away there. Look at that slave driver over there. Slave driver Jared.
Fuck, he's red as a tomato.
He's redder than a tomato.
Holy fuck's sake.
All right, guys, so we're going to slap this one back together, and I'm going to put that one back together over there, and we'll carry on with our day. Bad boy here, and we're pretty much done, and we're just working on door locks now. You can hear the relays clicking, but the actual door locks themselves aren't working. And his power antenna is also stuck in the up position. So we're going to pull the radio and see if maybe he has a connection wrong back there that's keeping this thing up. And we verified that there's power at the connection for the antenna here, but it doesn't seem to be operating. So we're going to check that out. In the meantime, in the back here, I've also I've modified my dash kit and sanded it, and it is pretty well ready to go yet again. So I'm going to go ahead and give this bad boy a good coat of paint and see if we can get that radio installed. It's on her there, and we're going to go ahead and just wait for that to self-level a little bit and throw one more coat on there and start installing that stereo in my 300. All right, final coat of paint is on this thing here, and I'm not going to have time, unfortunately, today to install the stereo into the dash kit and put it in the car. However, I will have time to finish up this Mitsubishi that's over here, guys. So we're on our final stretch here. We've got the ass end of this thing all apart. We've determined that it is, in fact, the actual antenna itself that's the culprit of the issue. It just does not want to return. We used our power probe again to see if we can get this thing to go up and down, and it's locked in place. You can actually feel the motor going, you know, up and down, but it doesn't want to move. So there's it needs to be replaced. So we're just consulting with the customer now in regards to that. So we got the whole dash apart as well, and hopefully in the next hour or two this thing will be going all back together, and we can call it a day on that thing. In the meantime, we got Dodge Caravan, which is beside my truck over there, and we're going to be doing a backup camera system along with a backup mirror. You guys have seen those, that we've done those on a truck before. So I'm going to get to that and call this video a day, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I apologize for the short video today, but if you guys have any recommendations as to why the oil light is staying on with the ignition off on this thing, other than the ECU, maybe let me know. Again, he's motor swapped this thing, and I can't seem to think of anything else other than it being the ECU. So we're going to call this video a day, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and have a great day. Take care.